Hey, community group leaders and teachers, I hope you're doing well and having a fabulous day. Hey, I am excited to introduce this week's Leadership Minute. This is one more tool that we can have in our tool belt to lead more effectively. Over the month of June, we have been looking at ways that we as leaders can help to cultivate evangelism and evangelistic conversations for us and for the folks that we lead in our community groups. We looked specifically the first week at the command that Jesus gave his disciples in Matthew 28 to go and make disciples, how that wasn't a command to go create new programs or go out and have in your mind the specific task of evangelizing lost people, but rather was about as you go. The connotation of that verb is while you happen to be going, be about the business of helping people who are far from God know him. Be aware of your surroundings, and as you go, you're going to have conversations naturally. Allow those conversations to point people to Jesus. We talked about the power of prayer, the simple phrase, God use me, and how that might change and totally alter how we think. We talked about the power of an invitation and the power of following up on the other side of an invitation as well. This week, I want to talk about prayer from a different angle, because the truth is that prayer is one of the best weapons that we have at our disposal, one of the best tools that we have at our disposal as we're trying to pray and help people far from God know him. For some of us, we can be pretty insulated. It's easy for us to be around friends that we know that we trust, family members that we know that we trust, and people that we like to go to church with and we like to hang out with. And it's easy for us to get insulated apart from people who are far from God. And so an easy thing for us to do, and for us to challenge other people around us to do, is to pray for God to put people in our path who are far from him. To put people in and around us, whether it's at work, whether it's at places we shop, and then allow conversations to stem up from those initial moments where we discover that people are far from God around us. An interesting stat that's worth noting, the Tulsa Metro Baptist Association, or Tulsa Metro Baptist Network, found out recently that pre-COVID at least, 82% of Tulsans do not attend church. 4 out of 5 Tulsans, people in the Metro Tulsa area, aren't a part of a church family. That's a significant stat. So the truth is that your neighbor, your coworker, other people around you may very well not go to church. They might have a vibrant relationship with God, but they might not be plugged in. And so inviting them to be a part of a church community is huge. They may also believe that they're a Christian because they're in the Bible Belt, because they at one point were part of a church family, but they've never actually invited Jesus into their heart. And so pray for God to show you who around you should have a conversation with. Pray to ask God to help to cultivate some relationships around you who are filled with people that are far from God, so that you might introduce them to the living God. As you pray, God will open your eyes. God will start putting people in your path. God will enable you to have conversations with people who are far from him, to invite them to surrender to him, or invite them into the vibrant community that we know is part of what comes with attending First Baptist Tulsa. If you have any questions about this or any of the other topics we've talked about, I encourage you, reach out to me, shoot me a text, shoot me an email. I want to be praying with you and praying for your group, that God will enable all of us to have more gospel conversations, so ultimately people who are far from God will surrender to him. Hey, I hope you have a wonderful day, friends. God bless.